Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. My name is Ingram Jones, as you know, and I have many thoughts. Before I go on about those thoughts, please don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, share these videos, tell your friends and family, tell the dog about it, whether you agree or disagree with what I have to say. I'm very tempted to do a section on the channel called You Don't Know Shit About Boxing. And like I always like to put myself on the line, I'm thinking of maybe doing a section where I say something and see whether my boxing knowledge actually adds up to what happens in a fight or how close that is. Often predictions for fights does say a person win because of they like them, or they'll make a prediction because they like the style, the way they throw the punches, knockout, the way they knock guys out, and then if you try and break down people, not to many people, to some people, they don't want to hear that. They just want to listen to your video and hear what they want to hear, as opposed to what the possibility is. So, I always like to see how much I'm learning about the sport in every fight. So I may say I expect to see this and this. The other person may win because I may have underestimated what another person can do, or I may have overestimated what the person I thought could do. So boxing is an interesting game. Two guys in the ring, and generally, if it's not a 90-10 matchup, a 50-50 matchup, anything can happen. Anyway, enough of that waffle. So thoughts. The video is called, and I don't like doing too many of these anymore. Good evening, Eugene. I hope that you're well. Great opportunity to talk about many things. So I want to start with Alexander Usyk and the Marco Huck fight. Now, I don't know if any of you tuned in to see my on Truth and Facts Boxing with Bo Bland. If you haven't subscribe to the channel. Doing some great work over there. They do some fabulous work over there. Even if he does butcher people, he does some fabulous work over there. And check this stuff out. Truth and Facts Boxing. Okay. Anyway, so a lot of the stuff I've said over there, I tend to go over there but don't share it on my own channel. So I'm going through some of the things I said. Okay, first and foremost, I agree with Alexander Usyk when Bashir was training him, and they it's all well known now that how they broke up and people don't agree with it, blah blah blah. Usyk has now moved on. We talked about maybe it was Ross Ambar being his trainer, and then it's this other guy which was the assistant to James Elliott Bashir. You've heard Uncle Al Bashir basically say that this guy doesn't know that much about boxing, 5 years in the sport, and he's a very aggressive guy, very hard-headed type of guy. That being said, coming from somebody who is an experienced trainer from over 40 years, those are warning signs. Now, this is not the first time I've seen Marco Huck get the shit, pardon my French, beaten out of him. Okay, let's go back in time. Steve Cunningham, Marco Huck. Oh yeah, but he got better. He got better after that. Golovkin beat the crap out of Marco Huck. Okay, Bridis beat the crap out of Marco Huck, and now Usyk has beat the crap out of Marco Huck. Okay, an older, much older Marco Huck, may I add. In that fight, throwing the right hand and catching Usyk far more regularly than I'd like to have seen him getting hit. I thought Usyk's performance against Marco Huck was masterful. The way he moved around the ring, maneuvered his way around the ring against Golovkin, moved around the ring, and allowed Golovkin to land shots on him. Masterful his footwork. Then we saw the performance against Hunter, where he wanted to stand and trade and have a fight. And now we have a similar thing here with the Huck fight. Now I want to make a statement here. People often follow what other people say to be safe, to join the gang, to not be ridiculed. Alexander Usyk is the best cruiserweight in the world. Okay, the guy's had 10, 11 fights. But he did well in the amateurs, and okay, maybe so. And he is an extremely skilled fighter. Up to this point, shown a good kid, good boxing ability, good skills, good footwork, you know, so far. But then he fought Golovkin, and for all Golovkin was, I wouldn't call him a great boss slugger with a guy that heavy-handed. And Cunningham fought the wrong tactic against him. Then against Michael Huck, again, Michael Huck is an old man, shot, and it's not the first time he got the shit beaten out of him. Now, for me, I'm not sure if I'm ready to say Usyk is the best cruiserweight in the world in this tournament. Not anymore. Not after that performance. And I'll tell you why. He got hit too often against a guy who really is shot, finished, doesn't have really ambition to be involved in the money. I would have rather quit faster seen Golovkin in the tournament than him. Okay? So these are my thoughts as they come to my mind. For 5 rounds, I saw Usyk moving. Nice, good. And then from that 6 rounds onwards, it could have been 7 rounds, 6 or 7 rounds, he's walking out, hands up, moving forward against Huck or Huck. Boxing's about percentages. That's the way I look at it. It's about percentages. The percentages, how much percentage are you giving your opponent to hit you, and how much percentage are you giving yourself, or let me rephrase that, the percentage of you hitting and not getting hit. So under a Bashir and his training regime, we're lessening the probability of getting hit with something crazy because you have a trainer that's giving you a strategy, who's broken a fighter down, who's got oversight for over 40 years plus of looking at fighters to break it down, right? From the professional ranks, done over and over and over again in the professional game. And now you've got a guy, and he's seen all different sorts of styles. Now you've got a guy who's working with him, who's attack-minded. Once you've got a guy who's attack-minded, the percentages of you getting hit with something crazy, it becomes more. From before, you weren't so much in a line of fire because you were hitting and you were moving. Might not have been proven. It might not have been pretty at times. Mayweather may not have been pretty at times, but we'll recognize him as being the number one when he got to the top. Now Usyk's in this situation. He's in a big tournament, and there's some huge punches in there. Huck, I wouldn't say, is the biggest of the punches there. You've got Gassiev and you've got Breeders. Now, for me, at this minute in time, I'm more impressed with Breeders at this minute in time than I'm of Huck, of Usyk, because at the moment, from what I saw of Usyk, when Usyk was hit with a good right hand, much like Golovkin, when he got hit with a shot, he was like, but there was no action coming back. Nobody pressed the action. Against a guy like Gassiev now, watching him, he got wicked body shots, and he's very heavy-handed. Problem with Gassiev, with him, he comes forward, take a lot of shots coming in. Someone like Usyk's footwork would be able to move around Gassiev if he's moving around the ring, right? But if he decides to stand in the pocket with someone like Gassiev, the percentages, we're talking percentages here, open up for Gassiev, because then he's in a position now, if Usyk's right in front of him, to land on wicked body shots and shots over the top. So he'd have to be more time, Usyk, for 12 rounds. We saw against Huck, after 6 rounds, he's standing straight in front of the guy. And the combinations were the same all the time for me. There was no variation from Usyk. And he's going to need a little bit more to his game moving forward against better fighters, and hit way too often by Huck, who's an old man. I'm no disrespect. He was getting hit by a crude puncher. Crude. Like a guy like Breedis now we're looking at now, who's got a nice long jab and that big right hand. And we're now looking at Breedis. This is a guy who went up to heavyweight, knocked Amal Shah, knocked out Danny Williams. So he's carried some serious power. This guy Breeze is no joke. So he's fought a heavyweight and down at I've seen this guy knock guys out going forward. I've seen him knock guys out going backwards. I've seen him knock a guy out as he's coming to the ropes, knock a guy out that way. And I've seen him knock a guy going forward. I'm impressed with Breedis. He's impressed me more than Usyk at the moment, because with Usyk, there's still, for me, there's a vulnerability about Usyk at the moment. Because, oh, no, he looked great. No, because it's a percentage of him getting hit. And when him getting hit, and then he all sort of like doing all this tapping of the gloves and all this shit. That's what I'm concerned with, because guys like Gassiev and Breedis, you're going to be leaving them opportunities, loads of opportunities, lots of holes in your defense to get hit. It's a different situation when you run a Marco Huck, who's an old man, when you've got fresh, young lions that want to take your head off and have as much to lose as you do. It's a different ball game, you know. So we're going to see how Gassiev and of course Breeze doing the competition. But I'm not too sure now about jumping out. Oh, Hook's the best for cruiserweight in the world. He has the potential to be the best cruiser in the world. But when depending on who's coaching him, now I don't know why he really got away with Bashir. Whether if it was a financial thing and he didn't want to pay and he wanted to go down the cheapo option, there's a problem there. Okay, if you remember rightly, Lennox Lewis. Let's go back a while. Let's go back when he first had his old trainer. He left his old trainer and he went, "Oh, I'm going to do things my way." Got another trainer in, and he thought they could carry his career based on what he did in the amateurs. He soon got found out when he fought Oliver McCall. He was open to the right hand. McCall knocked him out. The rest is history, as we know. Emmanuel Stewart took him on. Could a similar thing happen to Usyk in this tournament? Because I don't feel secure with Usyk. I really don't, because there's too many gaps, too many holes in that defense for me. For a guy who's supposedly meant to be the best in the world in a division full of guys who can knock you out with one shot. When I saw Garcia fight Lebanon, who is one of those guys who can put your lights out like that. I saw him take those shots from Lebedev. I saw him rock Lebedev, and this is a proven legitimate world champion back then. Okay, body shots, head shots. Every time he was hitting Lebedev, he was hurting him free-handed against an elite level fighter. Okay, so one thing you know about Lebedev, he can really crack. Okay, and Gassiev showed he had a bit of a good chin. I don't like the way he takes all them punches, but he does catch him on the gloves, which is nice. How does Usyk do with now Gassiev is tracking him, walking him back down the rope to the ropes, and his back's against the ropes? Can Usyk fight with his back against the ropes? Can he fight against a guy who's going to trap him against the ropes, walk him down, take the punches on the gloves, absorb his best shot? I don't think Usyk's the biggest puncher in the division. Trap him, take his shots, take him, walk him down the ropes, and start whacking body shots and vicious body shots. And remember, he was dropped in the amateurs by a body shot. I think by Breedis or Gassiev, one of the two. So they'll be looking to use that against Usyk as well. So I don't know. I'm not sure convinced. And the hand of Usyk is another thing we need to be looking into. Bashir talks about the hands of Usyk. His hand not being wrapped properly. And he said, and all the time I trained Usyk, you never saw putting his hand in a bucket. So again, 2 fights now, he's had his hand in the bucket. So is that hand going to be a problem for Usyk down the stretch in this competition? Small question for Alexander Usyk to answer. So that's my first thought. So let's get the Usyk thing out of the way. Best cruiserweight in the world? Should be the best cruiserweight in the world? Yes. Best cruiserweight in the world? Question mark. He may look fancy. He may have all the skills, and he has proven in the cruiserweights. Or he proven in the amateurs he was a class act. Whether he can work as a pro remains to be seen. But I don't like what I'm seeing, the sort of punches he's getting caught with by Huck. And you see, the problem starts now. The seeds of any sort of defeat down the line starts early on. You start seeing a guy getting caught with shots he shouldn't get caught with. These are things we've got to start pinpointing now. Don't wait until the night he gets knocked out to understand, oh, yeah, well, you should look at back then. Defensive flaws. And can he fight him? Can he fight backing up? That's the question. When his back's against the ropes, touch your ropes, can Usyk fight? He's had, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But his footwork is what's going to be key for him for his tournament, I think. His footwork. And knowing when to engage and when not to engage. An experienced trainer will teach you when to engage and when not to engage. Has he got that experience in his corner? Oh, he's got Lomachenko in his corner. Well, Lomachenko is not in his corner when he's fighting. That's evident. So that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, it was a body shot he got dropped with. See, the thing is that I like Usyk, like Gassiev is, you say he's flat-footed. George Foreman was flat-footed. It's speed. Timing beats speed. You can be the fastest guy in the world. Glenn Johnson wasn't the fastest man in the world. He caught Roy Jones Jr. Tarver wasn't the fastest man in the world. He caught Roy Jones Jr. Okay? Vernon Frost isn't the fastest man in the world, right? He caught Sugar Shane Mosley. Timing beats speed. Remember I said that. Timing beats, okay? Hey man, my local boxing gym is closed, so this is perfect timing, says Mikey. Usyk looked good, should have looked brilliant. The further he goes, the tougher half measures won't work. I agree with you there, Eugene. Usyk looked very good, but still took a couple of silly shots. Not a couple, quite a few silly shots he took. We can debate this all we want, but I know Ingram knows, and those who read between the lines know that Usyk has made a terrible mistake leaving James Elliott-Bashir. Bottom line, I'm pretty worried. I do think Usyk wins the tournament, but I'd hate to see him get reckless. If Mike Perez hits him clean, he may go. That's what I'm saying. Huck's physical capabilities were overruling his mind. He wanted to press, but his body wouldn't let him. I agree. A very shot fight. Perez, Brides, and Gassiev would press Usyk a lot more than they did. Exactly. Gassiev is flat-footed with a big power. That's my point. We did say that earlier. Usyk wins the tournament, but it will be harder due to the shots he's taken. Because you're now talking from Huck to Gassiev and Brides. You've seen Brides lay guys out much bigger than Usyk. Did you see what he did to Marius Manuel Shah? Nobody had done that to Manuel Shah. Nobody couldn't do it to him. This is Vitaly Klitschko couldn't do it to Manuel Shah. Go look at the tape. Shah's coming on to Brides. Brides slips to the side, hits I think a left hook or right hand, lays Shah out flat. Does the same thing to Danny Williams as well. I shot Danny Williams, but still Danny Williams from cruiserweight to heavyweight. Let's see this we're talking here. All right? And he did a number of Manuel Shah. Think what you want about Manuel Shah, but he had a good chin. He had good whiskers against Vitaly Klitschko. So Brides is a bad man. A very bad man. Very, very bad man. And he's just moving between cruiserweight and heavyweight. Bad man. How does Belly do it against Usyk? Atia does. He moves up to heavyweight and fights David Haye. Usyk pummels Belly would lose every round. Ortiz is the man to watch. Can bang and box. We'll see. What's wrong with Usyk going back to what he knows? Same coach for years. What's wrong with it? Well, I'll tell you. Let me change that question. What's right with it? You've got a guy who's got over 40, 45 years experience in boxing. The coach he's got now has only got 5 years in boxing and was Bashir's assistant trainer. That's what's wrong with it. Usyk will win the finals, but there will always be an asterisk because he never fought the people's champion and the best value. I like that. It's crazy people think Usyk would win it, dominate a heavyweight. Well, no. Yeah, Usyk got dropped by BWTM, not Brides or Gassiev. Yes, okay, got to drop it. Sorry, my apologies. Still got hit with a body shot though. Gassiev is probably the best cruiserweight on paper, but Usyk will be there. Will be there with a couple more good wins. He's gonna have to get those wins. I want Usyk versus Brides. That's what I want to see. Yeah, Bashir is the difference. Can you tell us, Coach Bashir coaching pedigree? I tell you what, go listen to the interview I did. I did an hour and a half interview of what Bashir's done in his career and where he's been and what he's coached. Go listen to the interview. I don't need to talk about it. But Bashir is on tonight with Stavern, 8:30 tonight. That's 2.5 hours from now. Bashir and Stavern will be talking to us live from Vegas. That's been quite interesting. Okay, so I'm going to move away. We're no longer talking about Usyk and Huck because there's lots to talk about. Okay, next topic up. Joshua versus Pulev, the fight that everybody wants to see. Kubrat Pulev. Anytime if you were playing a word get Pulev, I'd say left jab. And then if you said Kubrat Pulev again, I'd say fencer. Every time I see Kubrat Pulev box, he looks like he should be fencing the way he boxes. Now, for me, Kubrat Pulev still has Vladimir Klitschko left hook problems. I want to know if Kubrat Pulev has overcome the left hook problems that he had at Klitschko. I want to know if he's recovered from that terrible knockout defeat to Klitschko. That's what I am wondering about. Okay. Pulev is game. His left jab rocked Klitschko. But I've just got concerns with that style. If Joshua's going to walk forward, walk through that jab and throw that left hook. I'm just saying. That's my concern. I can see Joshua plowing through this guy in 3 or 4 rounds. I really can. Probably save Usyk here is his footwork. Yeah, that's it. And he's going to have problems there. I can't see. I can see Usyk being absolutely smashed within a couple of rounds. I really can. Because I just don't see how he gets past this jab. The jab's going to be there. The only way Usyk can win this fight, and I tell you the only way he can win this fight, is to make sure Joshua's on the back foot and force Joshua to fight off the back foot. Because Anthony cannot fight off the back foot. If you learn one thing from the Klitschko fight, look at the first 4 rounds, or look at the rounds where Klitschko pressed the action and had Joshua's back against the ropes. Joshua didn't know what to do. Joshua's a front foot fighter. You can't have the foot like that. He has to be on the front foot pushing forward. Much like Golovkin. Golovkin's another one of these guys, likes to move forward onto the front foot. And I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Likes to be on the front foot. All his momentum's on the front foot. Everything's front foot, front foot, front foot. You know, but I'm not sure about Pulev. I'm not sure about Pulev. I'm not sure about him. So we'll put him to one side. Through him. Saunders versus Monroe. I love Billy Joe Saunders. I think he's a really nice guy, and I've met him a few times, and I've done a few interviews with Billy Joe Saunders. And Billy, if you're watching, glad to hear you up in Sheffield training with Dominic Ingle. I hope it works out for you. I don't know if Dominic Ingle is a better trainer than Jimmy Tibbs. I'm not sure. I'd like to know if anyone can prove if Jimmy Tibbs or Dominic Ingle is a better trainer than Jimmy Tibbs. That's what I'd like to know, if he is. So I'm not so sure. Yeah, he can look in tremendous shape physically. Now, I know that Billy Joe Saunders looks in great shape. He's got to be in great shape. If he's not in great shape, Monroe can beat him. I really believe Monroe can beat him. He can really beat him. And here's my point why I can beat Billy Joe Saunders. Fighters fight in patterns. Fighters fight in patterns. Or I'll say it again. Saunders, Groves, DeGale. What do all 3 of those fighters have? Down the stretch, they tire. They tire. Their work rate drops off. If you look at down the stretch, holds his feet, the gas starts to get low and low, and he starts to stand his ground and fight. My thought with Golovkin versus Saunders is this: Saunders will be winning the first 6 rounds, even the first 7 rounds, and then he'd hold his feet like he did with Eubank, hold his feet, and then get tagged with something nasty by Golovkin. So when I think about Saunders Monroe on paper is the best opponent Billy Joe Saunders has fought by a country mile. I think better boxing than Andy Lee, certainly better boxing than what's his name, Spike O'Sullivan, better boxer than Nick Blackwell, and technically a better boxer than Chris Eubank Jr. So I don't think that I don't think Billy Joe Saunders should overlook Munroe, and if he's got in his mind he's looking at Golovkin, then that works in the other way around. When you look at Golovkin, you look at a guy that's a very big puncher, will hunt you down. Billy Joe Saunders doesn't hunt people down. He's a back foot fighter. He's slick. But he may find that Monroe may be just that little bit more slicker than him. Fighting regularly. This is not a fight where Billy Joe Saunders can afford to take rounds off. If he's 4 or 5 rounds down because Monroe's out pointing in the first 6, there's going to be problems down the stretch, because the last 6 rounds of a fight, Billy Joe Saunders hasn't been known to be Mr. Output in the last 6 rounds of any fight. So it'll be interesting to see what Saunders does down the stretch. Saunders says that Monroe's a quitter. We'll see what he would have done had he got caught with the same punches by Golovkin. It's all well and good saying, he's quit against Golovkin. He didn't fight. So we'll see. We'll see. Billy Joe Saunders has never been in a ring with Golovkin. Billy Joe Saunders is not as intimidating as Golovkin, and Billy Joe Saunders hasn't fought the type of level of fighters that Golovkin is for. A level above what Billy Joe has fought. Let's be honest. Billy Joe Saunders is taking his first step, sort of like into the Champions League now. Andy Lee, I blame his trainer more than Andy Lee himself. Andy Lee's a puncher, not a boxer. He's like the box with pure boxer. Monroe is a pure boxer. He's the best pure boxer that Billy Joe Saunders has fought. Period. Pure boxer. He's a brawler come, I don't know. But people say that Monroe's got a low work rate. Need to consider something. Look at when he fought Rosado. Rosado kept putting pressure all the time. You look at him, made Rosado miss, made him pay, made him miss, make him pay. Round after round, watch the fight. You see, you can have a high work rate and all your punches missing. Amir Khan's a perfect example. He's got a high work rate, but when you have a high work rate with a low IQ, you get knocked out. Guys, that's where you talk about when to get hit and when not to get hit. So I think this could be a really, really difficult night's work for Billy Joe Saunders. Ring rust, underestimating Monroe, new trainer Dominic Ingle, and I just don't think Billy should be. So there we go. So let's put that to one side. Right, next step. You know about Staverne's situation. Step aside and know all the ins and outs of it. We've got the exclusive news. Check out the 2 interviews that are on the channel. So we're not even talking about that. Now, let us talk about Deontay, the bronze bomber, Wilder. Bomb Squad! Well, let's talk about him just for a second. It's my suspicion that Deontay Wilder damn well knows who's going to fight next. And I think that they will wait until the last moment to inform whether it be Dillian Ward or Luis Ortiz. They'll wait till the last possible moment to say, we'll accept the fight. Fully well know that his ass has quietly been in gym training for 6 to 8 weeks. So that's my thoughts on that one. I think they're going to make an announcement about this fight when you least expect it. Is it not interesting? Is it not interesting that all these scribes and all these experts and all these people who have an opinion were slating Romain Stavern for holding up the fight between Wilder and Ortiz? I thought the fight was already signed. According to many media reports, the fight was already signed. November the 4th. The fight's signed, sealed, and done. Well, if the fight's signed, sealed, and done, why is there no official announcement about it? We know Stavern's got his contract and he's got his shit together. We know that because November the 4th, Stavern, Brazil, contract signed. It was signed Monday, early Monday. Monday? No, Monday. We're talking Monday. I'll tell you when it was signed because I got the email. He WhatsApped me the minute he was signing the contract, and I'll tell you when it was signed. Let me get the WhatsApp message. There we go. Wrong phone. I'll tell you when it was signed. I'll tell you exactly when the contract signed. So, there you go. Yeah, so it was at 1:44 a.m. 1:44 a.m. UK time. The contract was signed. So that was Saturday. Saturday, the contract was signed. So, yeah. So, I think Wilder, Showtime. We know that it's going to be Showtime. So, why hasn't the deal been done between Wilder and Ortiz yet? But everyone said, it's Stavern that's holding things up. So Stavern pulled the card and said, all right, fair enough. You think I'm the one that's causing the stink? Boop. I'm going to go and fight Brazil. And I'm still going to be #1 contender. Should I, or Brazile? Tell me. Because I know that if there was half a chance, Deontay Wilder would have made a defense against Dominic Brazil. Then he easily made a defense against Dominic Brazil rather than fight Ortiz or fight Joshua. So we'll see whether it's Ortiz. Does Ortiz really want to fight Deontay Wilder? We know already that when Ortiz was offered the chance to fight Stavern, he didn't want to know. He checked out. Start asking for when the contract was sent back. Start asking for more money and all the rest of it. Checked out. So you tell me. I've tried to call King Kong Boxing to find out what's going on there. So that's that there. Right. Who else do I have to talk about? Golovkin versus Canelo. I am even more convinced of Canelo beating Golovkin. I want people to go back and look at, again, the Willie Monroe fight with Golovkin. And Willie Monroe's not a puncher, okay? But I want you to see the body work that Willie Monroe was doing. I would say that Canelo is a far better body puncher than Willie Monroe. And I believe that while Gennady Golovkin, everyone's talking about his chin, his vulnerability is his body. And I think Canelo hits hard enough to break that body down, to slow Golovkin down, and to stop him through body shots. I do believe that. I really do. I do believe. Yes. So, we'll see. Nobody can knock Brazil because he just came off a ring fight. Izu. He knocked Izu out in a fight. Listen, If Usyk could knock Brazilian down, I think Stefan's got a very good chance of winning the fight. I think I want Stefan to win the fight for whatever agenda they've got, but I don't think Brazil is improving every fight. I disagree. I think Brazil is one of these guys that he's like a cowboy, a gunslinger. He's one of these guys who just throws shots and doesn't pay attention to his own defense. And you know, he's been knocked down on various occasions. Amir Mansour had him down. Fred Cassie almost beat the brakes off of him. Usyk almost had him out on his feet. So I'm telling you now, all these people, oh yeah, Brazil's this, Brazil's that, Brazil's this. When Brazil gets knocked out, because Brazil is perfect for someone like Stefan, because he's gonna throw them shots, and he's gonna get hit with a shot. And if Usyk can drop him, Brazil would be Stefan's best win. I don't know. I think Arreola would have been his best win. Brazil's kind of easy, but he does get back up, tough guy. Brazil isn't getting knocked. Brazil isn't getting knocked. He's got a very good bit. Okay, modern broadcast, if you say so. Right, I'm not here to talk about Stefan and Brazil. I'm just talking about Wilder. Right, next subject. John David Jackson, or as Bo calls him, John David Jackass. Now here's a man that gets me very upset. Here's a man that makes me very, very upset. As a black man, I am black, and I am what I am, and I'll apologize to anybody for that. Make myself very clear. I'm gonna have to shut this chat a second. Okay, now John David Jackson. Jean Pascal called you out and said that Kovalev was a racist. You were prepared to fight him over that. When Kovalev did the whole thing with the monkey and the bananas and had it on his t-shirt and was referring to Donnie Stevenson, it was let to slide. When Kovalev was on the TV station and was talking and was referring to black people in a very negative connotation, racist, it was like somebody in the PR said it was just the way he said the word Negro. Garbage. Okay. Whether Kovalev is racist or not, John David Jackson would know, but from the outset, he's a very ignorant man. Now, for John David Jackson now to come out and make all these statements about Kovalev, I'll tell you a long time ago that Kovalev was looking to get rid of John David Jackson, that Kovalev doesn't listen to John David Jackson. This is nothing new. People are up in arms. Oh, yeah, this is old news. This is old news. They were trying to get rid of John David Jackson before the first Ward fight. Remember, he said, American trainers are useless. I said to you that Kovalev don't listen to his trainer. You go back and listen to previous things. I said this. But, you know, people don't listen. So now I'm whining like a little girl about Kovalev. I didn't listen to the interview. I don't care much for John David Jackson because I find he's a very money has motivated him as opposed to principles and truth. And you were prepared to fight somebody who looks similar to yourself, Shalimar, than do what was right and walk away from Kovalev. You weren't being respected. You weren't being listened to as a trainer. Sanchez wouldn't stand for it. Abel Sanchez said, you don't want to listen to me. Get the hell out of my gym. I don't care how good you are. Get the hell out of my gym. That's a trainer of principles. Bashir the same. If you don't do what you want it, get the hell out of my gym. But you know, it's one rule for one person and it's another rule for someone else. My point that John David Jackson got no sympathy for him whatsoever. Absolutely none. Absolutely no sympathy whatsoever. and absolutely none whatsoever. So that's my thoughts on John David Jackson. Yeah, Mr. Man, talking a lot of sense there. Talking lots of sense. Somebody who talks boxing is Acules 189. Severn in shape wins easy. Brazil closes his eyes and throws wins, throws a shot. LOL. Thank you very much. Acules 189. Talking sense here. Everyone's got this thing about Stavern for. I don't understand it. I don't understand. Stavern's a fighter. We've had many fighters on the channel. We've had Fury on the channel. We've had many people on the channel. We're going to have Evander Holyfield on the channel as well. So that's been confirmed. So I don't know what people's issues are. Stavern's a good fighter. I like Stavern. He's given us access to the channel. And some of you people out there have got nothing better to do and say but troll on the channel. So I pay no mind. But you see, I'm here to talk to boxing fans who want to talk about the sport, want to talk about the science of the sport, want to talk about tactics and talk about, you know, talk about why a fight's a fight, fight's a certain way. I want to talk about that. I'm not interested in talking about anything else. So keep your own opinions to yourself in that sense. If you think something's a good fight, you think it's a bad fight, that's fine. But I'm talking about tactics. So obviously there's nobody else who wants to really talk about the John David Jackson situation here, so I don't have much to say. But for those people who are listening and those people who I'd love to know what you think, your opinions on John David Jackson. Was he right to stay with Kovalev as long as he did when he knew that the situation with Kovalev? Was he right then afterwards, after all that time? So he was prepared to stand up and defend Kovalev, a guy that wasn't even listening to him in training camp, a guy that potentially could have been a racist, over a man that looks similar to himself. That's what I've got a problem with. That's what I've got a problem with. So, yeah. Let's see if there's anything worthwhile listening to. Let's be honest, Bashir was removed one reason and one reason only. Quite possibly. Political reasons, we know why. People around Usyk don't like it. Let's see, is anybody talking some sense in this room? Oh, nothing else in the room that's of interest. Right, okay. Thank you all so very much for tuning in again. Thoughts on Usyk, Huck, Joshua, Pulev, Saunders, Monroe, Wilder. Now, like I said before, I think the Wilder announcement will come all of a sudden. But we will find out in an hour. 2 hours from now, we'll be talking to Bashir and Stavern from Vegas. And we'll get to find out what the latest in the head going on. I believe Joseph Parker is also going to be there as well. I don't know if Parker's actually going to be in camp or not. I heard rumors that he was going to be in the same gym. So yeah, they didn't do a Callum Smith interview preview, and they didn't. I will do that. Russell said if you want to talk to him over Twitter. Have a chat with him on Twitter. Great show again against Ingram. Breakdown Jarrell's Miller's strength of weakness. I like that's a valuable contribution that you've made there. Rorona. From what I see of what I have seen about Miller, he's a big guy, too big. I think he needs to lose weight. I'm not sure about Miller's boxing skills. The one thing I don't like about him, he throws his shots. He's not looking when he's throwing shots. And so he got tagged with a few shots against what's his name, Gerald Washington. I need to see him fight against somebody who's prepared to fight him back for me to make any statement out of Gerald, because Gerald is not, Big Baby is not tested yet. Let me see him fight somebody. Let me see him fight Amir Mansour. Let me see him fight. Let me think. Fight Dillian White. Let me see him fight Povetkin. Let me see him fight. Let me see him fight somebody who's got some sort of record behind them of showing that they too can fight. That's a fight I want to see. Let me just see. Let me see how that goes. Yeah, let's look at Callum Smith. He's fighting, isn't he, Saturday? We can definitely have a look at Callum Smith and see how he's doing. Look at his career. Straight up from Callum Smith. The good things I like about Callum Smith, he goes to the body very well. He's tall. I don't know how great his jab is. All the things Callum Smith has done so far has been against very low opposition, and now he's in the competition which has got arguably the best fighters in the division. So he's going to have to jump from fighting like C, D. It's like Callum Smith is in a situation where he's been, like, for example, playing football, Sunday League football, pub team football, right? A little better than that. And now he's playing Champions League football. He's playing in the Champions League. So for me, I think that there's a concern for Callum Smith. No, if he's had the hard fights preparing for what he's about to get involved with. Sutherland, I don't know much about him. We'll have a look at him as well and look into that. How do I see Joyce versus Lewison? Well, Joe Joyce, I want to know how long the fight's going. Is the fight going 12 rounds or going 10 rounds? I will remind you all, David Haye took chances. He took a chance. I remember this Dennis Hobson story a long time ago, who managed Carl Thompson, said to David Haye, don't take this fight. Adam Booth and David Haye said, we want this fight. Dennis Hobson says, you don't want to fight Carl Thompson. It's for the IBO title. You don't want to fight Carl Thompson. You're not ready for Carl Thompson. And David Haye, next minute, we turn around, we find out, bang, Carl Thompson beats David Haye, had a good chin, experienced. Yeah, I heard a story that Park wasn't really going over, was going to be in Vegas. I don't know how true that story was. So breakdown of Allen versus Thomas. Okay, we'll talk about Dave Allen versus Thomas. Can Dave Allen improve? Can he improve? Does by throwing more punches mean he wins the fight? Can you change? What adjustments can Allen change between then and now? So he can lose more weight, but mentally, can he change? Can he make the adjustment? Or will he always fight like that? I don't know. But I probably would like to see him fight Sexton, or what's the other guy's name? See him now. Cornish. I'd like to see him fight Sexton or Cornish. And I would like to see Dave Allen fight a couple more fights, get himself in contention for the British title, instead of trying to go for his Commonwealth title and fought the winner Sexton, Cornish. That's what I would have seen Dave Allen doing. Why is he fighting a guy like Leonard Thomas again? I don't know. So if Leonard Thomas beats him again, it's done. And we know already, well, I know already, that flattened Cornish within 30 seconds of a sparring session. So there you go. Smith is one of the hardest punchers in the weight division, but he's far from the best at ring craft. I don't think he's one of the hardest punchers in the division. I think he's proven that he's proven that against a lower caliber fighter. So yeah. Akulis 18 says Joyce doesn't need 8 journeymen to knockouts. Blues and perfect first fight, especially as Joyce has been in the WSB competition. Don't know much about Joy Joyce, you know. I don't know. I need to go and look at Joy Joyce more. But Usyk comes in shape. That's like when you say about Areola. If Areola comes in shape, when you have to ask yourself the question, will Lewison come in shape? That's not really. He's had 11 weeks to prepare for the fight, according to David Haye. But you can't trust David Haye what he says, because he's front teeth, his back teeth, his side teeth. He lies. So if David Haye said that Lewison's had 11 weeks to prepare, you can guarantee probably 10 weeks to prepare. So I don't know. Buglioni, Callum Johnson. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that fight. I have to look into it a bit more. Yafai versus Ishida. If Ishida's any good, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I've got no idea. But I'll look into it. And on the subject of Chocolatito getting knocked out, you know, pound for pound, great, #1 in the world, blah, 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 blah. I wake up Sunday morning to see this on my YouTube channel, and I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, you can't keep fighting with your face. You cannot keep fighting with your face. And boxing's about hit and not get hit, not using your face as a you know, goalkeeping. You know, you've got arms, you've got block punches, but he's got a great chin. So as you move up, when you move up in weight, pound for pound is about using your skill set and taking up the weight divisions. Can you do how you do with your skill set in the other weight divisions? That's pound for pound. Because you take away your physical move up in weight because you've got guys that are physically bigger and stronger than you. So in that case, then you can't use those same attributes of physical strength. So it's skill level, your footwork, boxing ability, your IQ, those things. So if you're not a bigger man, you're not a stronger man, can you, like Floyd Mayweather when he fought Canelo, when he fought what's his name, even this guy McGregor, bigger, stronger. McGregor was much bigger, much stronger, but at the end of the day, skills pay the bills. So Roman Gonzalez, if I were I take a long rest from the sport, about a year from the sport, come back and fight a low weight division, try and win a world title again and retire. That's what I think. So yeah, last comment is AJ Carter versus Daniel Dubois. I would rather see Daniel Dubois fight because Sokolovsky was the guy that knocked out AJ Carter in a round. That would have made more sense. And Sokolovsky also had been sparring, had that 10-man exhibition fight against Hughie Fury. So I'd rather have seen Dubois fight him, but maybe there was a risk in that. The fact that AJ Carter knocked out badly by what started as of a left jab doesn't bode very well against a guy who's very, very heavy-handed in Dubois. David Allen says he hits extremely. He's a harder puncher. Dubois is a harder puncher, and physically much stronger than Anthony Joshua. That's what Dave Allen said. He sparred with Joshua, and he sparred with Dubois. He said every time Dubois hit me, he didn't knock me over, but he physically shook me, and he's so strong. He was manhandling Dave Allen, whereas Joshua is big, but he's not physically strong. Yeah. As for Anthony Yard, I think he's a good boxer. Tunde Ajayi is a very good trainer. I just get the feeling at the moment with him, he's one of these guys that needs to be tested and tested soon. We need to find out whether he is the good or not. You know who comes to mind? Marcus Morrison. Marcus Morrison was the second coming of Roy Jones Jr. and all the rest of it. And then he came on Morrison anymore. So I just want to see him fight. I want to see him fight him. I want to see Yade fight somebody decent. And then we can have a bit more discussion. Right, that is it. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to spend an hour playing some Football Manager, even up to the time when I'm talking to Stavern and Bashir on the same call. So, should be interesting. Bashir and on the same call. Should be fun. And I should get a little bit more information about what is going on in the heavyweight division. Okay, I am out of here. I'll speak to you. Catch you later. Bye.